Scrutiny week at Parliament this week comes after Labor's soft launch for its campaign, their party conference in Auckland at the weekend. Adam Pearse is the Deputy Political Editor at the Herald and joins us live this morning from Wellington. Adam, good morning.
Morning.
What do you make? 'Cause I've spoken to a couple of people this morning in the field, the GP sort of field. They have said actually this is on balance probably not a bad thing. How do you think it's going to go down with voters? How do you think it was sold at the weekend?
Yeah, I think looking at that response, and you've heard it this morning, it's gone down pretty well. And I think it's probably a smart thing to launch this close to Christmas. People aren't all that engaged in politics at the best of times, but now we're in December, people are planning their Christmases, they're planning their holidays and all that kind of thing. And they're launching a heavily detailed policy is probably not the best way to go. But with a health policy, leveraging what they've had with their 3 free GP visits linked with their, obviously, capital gains tax, I think it's probably a good move. The reaction to the CGT/health policy was pretty good. It wasn't terrible. So, leveraging the success of that is probably a smart idea.
Adam, from where I'm sitting, they all sound like great policies, but are you going to get the revenue from the capital gains tax that you need in the time that you have said you will get it in order to pay for the stuff that everybody likes? That's, I think, going to be the biggest challenge for them. What do you think?
Well, that's the massive question, right? And you heard some interesting notes from the likes of Barbara Edmonds, their finance spokesperson, who would be the finance minister if Labor is successful in the 26 election, talking about fiscal responsibility, right? And this is the main question that Labor needs to answer. We haven't seen a fiscal plan from them. That'll be coming later next year. Obviously, once we've got another budget to come, so they'll need to look at that and respond in that sense. But they're wanting to be responsible fiscal managers. You talk to anyone who's critical of the previous Labor government, they'll be critical of what they saw as excessive spending. And Barbara Edmonds and indeed Chris Hipkins were pretty clear over the weekend that they cannot say yes to everything, and that's sending a clear message to their membership and to the voter base more broadly to say that they are not going to take the same approach as some people thought they took in the previous stint of government.
Adam, this week when we tell people the House isn't sitting and they think nothing's happening at Parliament, but actually this week something is. It's scrutiny week, so who's getting scrutinised and what for?
Well, basically, it's a way to scrutinise the government's spending decisions. So, while it may not be sitting, the House that is, we will be spending a lot of time at Parliament. There'll be very long select committees where ministers and heads of the different public sector agencies and ministries will be fronting Parliament's select committees mixed up of government MPs and opposition MPs, and basically just to scrutinise the decisions, the spending decisions that have been made. Now, interestingly enough, first up, one of the first ones this morning will be social investment, so the Social Investment Agency, but we won't be seeing its chief executive, who was, of course, the former police commissioner, Andrew Costa. Now, he's on leave at the moment amid an investigation into his role regarding the scandal surrounding former Deputy Police Commissioner Jevon McSkimming. So expect that to be a pretty significant topic, which will obviously distract from the work that the Social Investment Agency is supposed to be doing.
Yeah, well, it's interesting that their spending is getting scrutinised when they've only basically just started getting money out the door too.
Well, exactly. And I think not a lot of people are really aware of what the Social Investment Agency really does. I mean, the kind of the broad idea, and it's been championed by Nicola Willis, who's the minister responsible, but it's basically having an ambulance at the top of the cliff rather than the bottom, investing early to make sure that you're not paying later on. But unfortunately, it's all of that work, the work that the agency is doing, is probably going to be muddied by the fact that its chief executive is being investigated.
Yeah, absolutely. Adam, I appreciate your time. Look forward to you reporting this week. Adam Pearse.